Okay, I'm going.
We're going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Welcome to the first cooking video for 2013. Based on probably everything that we've eaten over the past couple weeks from the holidays, we need something a little bit lighter. So what we're making tonight is pasta with Puttanesca sauce. Puttanesca sauce, the theory, or the lore of it is it was a sauce made by the hookers in Italy. It seems so crass, doesn't it? But it's basically just a simple, really easy to make sauce that we're going to start with a little bit of olive oil, like so. Our pan's nice and hot, so from there we're going to add in onions and garlic. We're going to let these cook for just a few minutes. Get softened a little bit. Now, there isn't a lot of ingredients in this, which is part of the reason why the lore came about, is it's something that they could make while they were doing their jobs and not have to worry about so much, and it was cheap enough that they weren't spending a lot of their money to make it. So you could get a nice filling meal in without having to spend a lot of money. We'll let these go for a minute or two, get nice and soft. And then we'll be adding in the next part, the next steps of the ingredients. The onions have started to soften a little bit, so now I'm going to add in a little bit of what you could do is wine. I'm doing a little bit of mead. That's what I have. Adds a little bit of acidity to the mix. I'm also going to add in just a touch of balsamic vinegar. And a little bit of Italian herbs. Now, the nice thing to do with this would be to add in fresh basil. We don't have it. I mean, we're in Michigan in the middle of winter. You're not going to do that. You're going to add what you have, and dried herbs is best in the middle of winter. For a little bit of a kick, just a little bit of spice. I like to use chipotle powder for it. It's a nice smokiness, adds a little extra depth of flavor. Then the last thing, out of the big stuff right now, is tomatoes. These tomatoes actually are ones that I froze at the end of summer, so they're still close to very fresh. The freezing process breaks down the cell walls, so you get a lot of that liquid out and they become almost mush. But you get all that flavor in there and it just comes out nice. You could, if you really wanted to, you could blend this sauce. It's not something I'm going to do. I actually want to have a little bit of substance to it, which when we get to the last ingredient we're going to add in here, you'll see. I want to actually be able to showcase that. So we're going to let this go for a little bit. It's going to come to a boil before I add in the last bit, which is going to be the olives. Okay, at this point I raised up the heat a little bit. I want it to come to a boil. Once it's coming to a boil, which it's doing right now, that's when I'm going to start adding in the olives. I'm going to let these cook in. I haven't salted this yet, mainly because I want to see how much salt the olives bleed through into it. That's just the way olives are. The olives that we are brined in a salt brine, so that is going to leach out into the rest of it. I might need to add some salt to this, because these tomatoes in here are not canned tomatoes, they're actual fresh tomatoes. There's no salt, there's no outside salt in those other than what's in there naturally. But I want this to boil down a little bit, become a little bit closer to, not quite sec, not quite demi-sec, just a little bit off of that before it's ready to be done. So when we get close to that, that's when I'll taste the salting and such and make sure that we're actually in the right spot. Okay, we're looking at, you can start to see it thicken up really good, but there's still a little bit of liquidiness in it. You want that liquidiness because the pasta will absorb that. What we have right now, though, is we don't have quite the tie-in of the flavor, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Get that mixed in and see where we are. And as you can see, we've got a nice amount of chunkies in there, as far as it goes with the olives and chunks of tomato. Kind of want that. It adds a little substance to what we're about to eat. There we go. Okay, now we're going to finish off with the pasta. Get that mixed in real good. And then we're going to plate it up. Finish this off really simple. It's all sauced. Plate like so. Get a couple of olives. And a hunk of bread.